I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're talking to an amazing author. His name is James Peterson, and he has penned a powerful book. It is called The Philosophy of Explanation. When explaining the truth about God, the terms used are an indicator of one's intellectual maturity. This profound book invites readers to unravel the true nature of God, offering an enlightening journey that challenges and expands intellectual understanding. Join us as we delve into the author's exploration of spiritual layers and universal truths. We're delighted to have this very powerful author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him in the spotlight today. We ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. James, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Crawford, Mr. Crawford. Can I call you Mr. Crawford or Logan?
Call me Logan.
All the above. Let's do it friendly.
All right.
It's a pleasure to be on your show.
Pleasure to have you here, sir. What motivated you to write The Philosophy of Explanation?
Back in 1980, August 1980, my middle daughter, Kristen, died of congestive heart failure. That sent me into a mental funk, if you will, that lasted for 20 years. And during that period of time, I searched and searched and searched for what you would call the truth. And I didn't really know what I was going to find at the end of that search. I have discovered that being a human being like yourself and like myself and like other human beings, that demands that we are exactly and precisely the same as every other human being. Let me turn off my phone. So in order to get that explained, after spending 20 years working on this, I decided I had to write a book.
Mm.
And as it has turned out, I wrote 3 of them. And the latest one is the one that we're discussing, The Philosophy of Explanation.
Absolutely. How do you believe the terms used to explain the truth about God reflects one's intellectual maturity?
What a person says is a reveal of how their mind operates. Uh, a person's mind is responsible for the terms that a person uses when he's explaining something. The use of those terms, when compared with the absolute nature of reality, including the absolute nature of human reality, when investigated deeply, reveals how intellectually that person's mind has progressed or matured as they have gone through ages. We mature from point of birth to point of death during that whole cycle where we are constantly maturing intellectually. And that's what the comment means. When you are explaining football, the terms you use reflect your maturity about football. It's the same thing with God. It's the same thing with water. It's the same thing with every subject. The terms you use reflect your intellectual maturity.
Absolutely. The jargon you use, the terms you use, it reveals your depth of knowledge on a subject, no doubt. Can you elaborate on the concept of universal truths that apply to everyone across space and time?
The definition. Truth is never false. A truth is always true under all conditions and every circumstance. Truth was true for every person who has ever lived at any time in the past. A truth is true for every person who now lives, regardless of the conditions under which they live or the circumstances under which they live. And a truth will remain true for every person who will ever live at any time in the future, any place in the entire physical universe. Now, that's an enormous statement. But when you understand what a truth is, then you understand the statement.
Absolutely. A truth is eternal. It's not relative. It's not just contemporary. It's not just historic, but we're on the same page when it comes to philosophy and truths for sure there. You mentioned earlier the loss of your daughter and what a profound impact it had on you. Uh, did it influence the perspectives and the writing of this book as well?
Um, it influenced every aspect of my life, actually. Um, until a person has a significant emotional event, and the most significant of them is the death of your own child. Until a person has a significant emotional event, they are not motivated to understand what exists inside of their own brain.
Hmm.
We fill our brain every day with visual input, but also with textual input, with voice input from other people. And very often that is not filtered relative to whether it's accurate or true or verifiable. So when I began to investigate that, I discovered that my mind was full of junk. So I had to get rid of it. And I had to refill it from a perspective that I had not been familiar with in the past. And that took 20 years. I cried every single day, Logan. I cried every single day for 20 years until I got to the point where I understood why. And the true nature of what causes that kind of pain and why it will never go away. And interestingly, why I never want it to go away. The pain, when I talk to people that have the experience that I have had, I say the depth of your pain is a measure of your love for that person that died.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree 100%. And the grief, of course, is a connection as well. The pain you feel, like you said, is, the amount of love you have for that person. And it does not go away. It does not get better. And I guess once you learn to accept that, you do learn to live with it. But it is your connection to that person always. What do you hope readers take away from your book?
I want people to think about their place on the planet, their place in the universe. I want people to, I want to reveal to people that there are some fundamental truths that they may not have been thinking about because they have not had the experience which motivated them to think about it. Um, so what I would like to see is a person who reads my book understand that it is written not from the perspective of what I have inside of my head, but from the perspective of what we as people commonly experience in the physical world, including experiencing the existence of other people. There's such things as people who do not function properly. My daughter is an absolute perfect example of that. She was born severely mentally impaired. Uh, she was one of the best people I've ever known. I mean, we bonded very, very closely. Um, I would I would challenge people to say that they understand the human nature, actually understand the human nature until they have faced and dealt with somebody like Kristen. Mentally challenged people are special, and we give them that term special not because they're challenged, but because they are. They just see the world differently. They respond to the world differently. So if a person reads my book, I would like them to be able to take away from it the motivation of looking deep within their own mind for some very serious truths.
There's a powerful book. It is called The Philosophy of Explanation. When explaining the truth about God, the terms used are an indicator of one's intellectual maturity. It is a profound read, and it invites readers to unravel the true nature of God, offering an enlightening journey that challenges and expands intellectual understanding. James, thanks so much for joining us here today on Spotlight and sharing your insights.
Appreciate the offer. I have seen your interviews in the past. You're an excellent interviewer, and I feel honored to be on your show.
Well, all the honor is all mine, sir. I appreciate it so much. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time. This time until next time on Spotlight.